Most people like to wait for crisis or breakdown or trauma or disease or diagnosis to finally make up their mind to change. My message is, why wait? So you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. I like the latter, and more people are getting that. So I don't really care, because people come to our events for all kinds of reasons. They're suffering from a disease, they have a mental health problem, they want to be richer, they want to be happier, they want to have a new job, a new career, a new relationship, they want to have a mystical experience, or they just want to prove to themselves they're creators and they're already affluent and wealthy in their lives, or happy in their lives. They just want more. So knowledge is the precursor to experience.
Yeah.
The more knowledge you have, the more prepared you are for an experience. So then, how do we get more people out of living in their past and living in their future? Well, think about the hormones of stress. When you are under stress and that sympathetic nervous system is switched on, you're going to narrow your focus on the cause, whatever it is. So then as you narrow your focus on matter, if it's a person, it's an object, it's a thing, it's an animal, it's a place, all of your attention is being directed towards something in your outer world, right? So then where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So the stronger the emotion you have to a problem in your life, or your ex, or a person, or your boss, or whatever, the more you're giving them your attention, which means where you place your attention is where you place your energy. You're giving your power away to that person, and that's available energy that you could be using to heal your body or design a new destiny. So then set a person down, because the change is to be greater than your environment, to be greater than all those conditions in your outer world, to be greater than your body, and to be greater than time. Sit them down and say to them, okay, you've been narrowing your focus on everything material, converging your attention. Let's do the opposite. Let's diverge your attention. Let's open your attention. Instead of focusing on matter, focus on nothing. Open your awareness to the field, to space. And if you open your awareness to the field and space, in the beginning it takes a little practice, but when you begin to sense space, you're no longer thinking or analyzing. And if you're not thinking or analyzing, you start to change your brain waves and slow them down. So then if you keep doing this, sooner or later, you're going to take your attention off your body, and you're going to go from somebody to nobody. You're going to take your attention off the people in your life. And as you lower the volume to those emotions, you're going to go from someone to no one. If you take your attention off your cell phone, your computer, your car, all the things in your life, you're going to go from something to nothing. If you take your attention off where you're sitting, or where you need to be, or where you need to go, you're going to go from somewhere to nowhere. And if you take your attention off time, linear time, you're going to go from some time to no time. And that is the moment you get beyond yourself. And that is when you are passing through the eye of the needle. That is the door to the quantum field. That is the nexus of the quantum. And you can't enter that quantum field as a somebody. You can only enter it as a nobody. So when a person begins to get beyond themselves, the only thing they're left as is pure consciousness. They're left as an awareness. Aware that they're aware in infinite space. Now, the quantum field is an invisible field of information that transcends time and space. In other words, there's no people there, there's no bodies, there's no things, there's no places, there isn't even time. So take away the earth, take away the moon, take away the stars, take away the light from the stars, take away the galaxies, take away everything material. And what are you left with? Just an infinite space of nothing physical. That is the quantum field. But just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So you can only experience that field with your awareness. Now, getting people to that elegant moment, we can only talk around. You have to practice doing it. And now I'm happy to say, after 6 years of laboring with people to get beyond themselves and to be able to slow their brainwaves down from that beta brainwave pattern, that high beta. the brainwave pattern into alpha and theta. The whole purpose of meditation is to get beyond the analytical mind. And what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. So then, as people begin to slow down their brainwave patterns, they're actually entering the operating system, where all those hardwired attitudes and automatic habits and programs and emotional reactions and addictions exist. Now they can begin to make measurable changes. So then if you take a group of people and you work with them to get beyond themselves, there's going to be an enormous amount of chaos that's going to be created in the brain and the body, and they're going to want to quit, and they're going to give up, and they're going to get frustrated. But if I give them another opportunity, they're going to do it again. If I give them another opportunity, sooner or later, they're going to finally surrender. And when they do, they're going to connect to that field. And it's the most familiar, unfamiliar feeling you'll ever have. It's a level of coherence or order, because as you get closer and closer to that field as an awareness, you experience greater and greater degrees of oneness and wholeness and less separation. So if you feel less separate from your dreams, then you feel like you already have them. You're no longer in want or lack. You feel whole. And when you feel whole, you can't want, because you feel like you have everything. And that is the perfect place to create from. And so we've worked, Michael, so hard in helping people to get to these points. And I'm so happy to say that when we're doing these week-long events now, I never, ever in my life thought I'd be witnessing what I'm witnessing in terms of changes in health and mystical experiences. And you can't tell me now you're too old to do this. You can't tell me that now. You can't tell me you're too sick to do this. You can't even tell me that, because I've seen all kinds of ages and all kinds of sick people really reverse some very serious health conditions. You can't tell me you had a turbulent past and you can't change, because I've seen some people with some really turbulent pasts get beyond it. I've seen people that were out of shape, overweight, underweight, vegetarians, carnivores. I've seen it happen in all different sizes, shapes, and people. And the beauty behind it is that it's inclusive, and it's happening more and more. One of the things that we do is we teach people that very simple meditation of finding the elegant sweet spot of the generous present moment. That when they get beyond their body, their environment, and time, and they become pure consciousness, they have to be in the present moment to do that. Now, there's a formula for that as well. And if you can go and check out some of the meditations, but we teach people the basis of how to get there. Heart coherence is another way to begin to slow your brainwave patterns down. When you're feeling with your heart, I always say the brain thinks, but the heart knows. When you're feeling with your heart and you're trusting the intuition of your heart, that's because your energetic field is tapping into information, and your heart becomes the compass for you to know. So then when you lead with your heart in your life, it's very different than leading from any other place. So if you're going to believe in a future that you're creating with all of your heart, it better be open and activated. So heart coherence is another way. We have certain breathing techniques that we teach people that help to slow their brainwave patterns down to get into that place. But I mean, there's many ways to go about it, but the key is that you do it. Because if you don't do it, you're probably not going to experience the benefits. And just like any skill or any habit, in the beginning it takes a lot of conscious effort, but then once you get good at it, then you can do it automatically. And we have people in our work that we've measured their brain wave patterns. They can change their brain waves in 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 9 seconds, 12 seconds. It's not like, hey, I'm getting to the quantum field before you. It's more like, I know how to do this. I've been doing it. I know how to get there. It's a skill. And that becomes highly effective and important when you're at a balance and you need to make your way back to balance. Our community just naturally says, excuse me, I'm going to take a few moments and get centered.